Hi, welcome to the Geeks. We put together a great 9-part series to help you write a fantastic resume to get you in and ahead in government. So this week, we're going to talk about knowing what OPM says that you need. So OPM, the Office of Personnel Management. Real big deal in federal government. This organization is responsible for writing position descriptions, making sure that there's policies, procedures, rules, etc. that are followed for hiring, setting hiring practices. Really, really good people. So why is it important to make sure that you know what OPM says you need to have? We're going to talk about 3 things to help you write a fantastic resume or a test to really make sure that you pass. All right, let's go and see what those 3 things are. First off, look at the Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families. Second, look at the hiring factors. And lastly, compare your competencies. So let's talk a little bit more about this one. First off, the Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families. This is a goldmine of information, really for everyone that's applying for a federal job. So here's what this handbook does. Each of the positions really is broken into a job series or a job category. From there, that job series connects directly to a group or a family. So if your work does management and analysis, things like that. That's one of the examples that I like to use because there are tons of positions in that area. If that's the case, then you are in the 0300 series or that group or that family. This is great because if you look at this handbook and you look at the job that you're applying for and you know your job series, you can find that job series listed out in the Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families. From there, it's going to say, well, what that individual should know in order to do that work. And then it even goes an extra step and it says, here are some examples of how a person could show that they're qualified to do this work. And they also say, here are different concepts that a person should know or experience levels. And they break all of this out into rating criteria. Those rating criteria, if you are writing to what those are, if you're demonstrating that you have those experiences, well, then that's fantastic because you are showing that you can do the work that they think needs to happen in order for that position to really succeed. That's really kind of what we're talking about here. Using the Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families gives you the better insight into what they're looking for. So as you're writing your resume, check out the Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families to make sure that you are writing to the right information. Also, number 2, while you're there, look at the hiring factors. Okay, so if you were going to have rating factors or criteria for something that you're going to select, for instance, you're going to go out to eat on Saturday night or something like that, or you're deciding what movie to watch or rent. Okay, so as you're making these different decisions, you're going to say, well, you know, I'm kind of in the mood for this type of thing, or I'm kind of hungry for that type of thing. I'd like to, watch this type of thing to make me laugh, to make me feel good, to make me feel a little scared or excited. Those are the different criteria that you're creating to evaluate which of all the different options you have to choose from. It helps you evaluate which is the best one for you. So OPM has done the same thing. They're listing out what are the hiring factors that a person should demonstrate to show that they are qualified for the position. If you're writing your resume towards what those hiring factors are, it allows you to show that you have the qualifications that are necessary for the position. So in looking at this handbook, you can see what the hiring factors are. Also, just like the other descriptions about the work that's done, you can see examples of what is done and really kind of demonstrate, okay, I have similar examples. I've done similar things. Looking backwards at your experience, it gives you a chance to really reflect. You can take a second to step back and think, okay, I really want this job. I'm really excited about this type of work. Now, where is it that I've done this type of work before? Think back in all of your positions. It could be volunteer positions, paid positions, all of that. And think, okay, yeah, I totally had this before. Here's how I worked on this project, this activity. And then from there, that is what you use to write your resume. It's not enough just to say, oh, my job, I process widgets. I took these actions or activities and then that was it, it was done. I mean, they shouldn't have to guess that the work that you've done is applicable to the work that you're applying to do. You need to show them that the work that you've done is relevant. So going after these hiring factors is really just a great way of showing that you have what you need to have in order to get the job done. Okay, lastly is compare your competencies. So if you were to kind of list out everything in the handbook, everything that OPM says that you need for this position, you can be honest with yourself. You can say, okay, as I look through this, maybe I'm not as qualified as I thought I was. Or maybe I'm more qualified than I thought that I was. When you look at these different things, you can see, okay, this grade level has these types of hiring factors. All right, well, if I know that I have those experiences for that grade level, then I should be able to be qualified when I apply for those positions because you have the stuff that's needed for all of that. The other thing you can do is you can compare your competencies for future jobs as well. So you could say, okay, this is cool. I've been able to do these things and I'm qualified for this position. Now I know that this next job is going to give me these different skills, which means within a year, you can be qualified for that next level. So often I'm sitting back with clients and we're talking about these issues and they think to themselves, you know, I don't know if I'm qualified for it. I don't know when I'm going to be qualified. I just feel like I keep getting passed over for a promotion, or I feel like I keep applying, but I never get referred, and I don't know what's going on with my resume. Well, this is it. This is like the big answer for you. When you look at these factors, when you look at these competencies, you can ask yourself honestly, do I really have what's needed? And if you don't, then you can take a step back and think, all right, well, what are the things really that I need that would demonstrate that I'm really qualified for this position? A lot of times as we're working with clients, they'll say stuff very general like, well, you know, I guess I'm just gonna have to go get that master's degree, or I'm gonna have to get the second bachelor's degree, or maybe after I get this certification, then I'll be qualified and then I can apply for jobs. Well, by looking at these factors, you can really see what they're looking for. And you know, maybe that extra degree or that competency is going to be a great thing, that certificate that you get. But maybe that's not necessarily what hiring managers are looking for. So you can think, all right, well, where else can I get this type of experience if it's not getting another degree or if it's not, you know, getting another certification? Maybe it's a detail. Maybe it's volunteer experience that you need. Maybe you need to have different projects or activities outside of work that can help you demonstrate that you have those qualifications. You can volunteer for professional associations or societies, things like that. You can contribute to local universities. As long as you're doing the work that you have identified that you need to do, you're demonstrating that you're building that competency. So then you take that experience, write it up in your resume, and bam, you have the qualifications that they're looking for. I mean, really, it's like a big gap analysis. You're looking at what OPM says, you need these things, and then look back and think, all right, well, yeah, I got most of these things. Here are the other things that I need, and I'm going to go ahead and get it. It's kind of like if you're baking a pie or something and you're going through the checklist of all the stuff that you need, you know, milk, eggs, flour, sugar. Oh, wait a minute, I'm missing butter. Okay, I need to go to the store to get butter, and then I'm going to have everything I need to make a fantastic pie. I'm getting hungry right now. I don't know about you guys. Pie always sounds delicious for me. But, you know, the same thing is true with your career. If you're going towards something that you enjoy, well, why wouldn't you want to have all of the different things that you need to do what you want to do? It's really taking your hands around a subject and making it your own, because you are doing what you need to do to get towards where you want to go. You're not putting the decision about your happiness in someone else's hands, because it's easy to say, oh yeah, you know, I applied, but maybe they didn't like me, or I didn't get the promotion because my supervisor doesn't like me, things like that. Or you can look back and think, okay, what is it that I need to do? What is it that OPM says that I need? And how can I go about getting that? All right, there you go. That's it for today's session, talking about what OPM says you need. We talked about three things here. First, looking at OPM's Handbook of Occupational Groups and Families. Second, we looked at hiring factors. And then lastly, we looked a little bit more introspectively at comparing your competencies, building that roadmap to get from here to there. Those are the big things for you. Thank you so much for your time and engagement today. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.